All right, everybody. How are we doing on this Sunday? We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Fox Local. Just doing a quick check-in to make sure you are ready to go for the start of the work week. And I have to say, today it was tiring getting kind of used to that new sunrise, sunset times. Let us know what you kind of think of the daylight saving time. Seeing people writing in from our YouTube page. Good evening from Lakeland, says Kevin. Anthony saying good evening from Orlando. Again, we are also live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube as well. This is also the time, if you do have any outdoor plans coming up this week, I can give you a quick forecast on that. But we are going to be on a little bit of a roller coaster. It's going to start off cool and then slowly start to warm up from there. We'll talk about the work week ahead and we'll talk a little bit about the tropics because we are 1 month out. But back to daylight savings. It was dark at 6:30 tonight, and usually we slowly start to see that sunset later on in the 6 o'clock hour or right at around 7 o'clock. So now starting to see that sunset a little bit earlier is definitely a little tiring to start off. I honestly felt like a little grandma feeling tired and wanting to go to bed at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So we are going to continue to see that. And I have to say, my dog Honey was not very happy with the time change. She did not get the memo about the extra hour of sleep. But let us know what you have planned for the start of the work week. We'll take a look at the forecast in just a second. So here's what we're looking at right now. A beautiful evening out there. We are seeing those partly cloudy skies all across the region. Seeing a couple clouds around there, but again, that's actually going to help us stay on the milder side through the overnight tonight. It still will be cool, but not ridiculously cool, where it's actually going to be on the chilly side as you head out to the door tomorrow morning. Actually, it's probably one of the warmest temperatures that we've seen in the past couple. So here's what we're looking at right now. Going to be continuing to see those partly cloudy skies through the overnight tonight. And again, just to kind of remind you of where we were seeing those sunsets and sunrises earlier on in the week. It was 7:37 a.m. as we were kind of seeing that sunrise on Saturday. Sunset, it was 6:40 p.m. yesterday. Sunrise today, it was 6:39 in the morning. And that sunset was at 5:38. Yeah, no, that is going to definitely take some getting used to out there for sure. And we're going to continue to kind of be on a little bit of a temperature roller coaster as we take a look at the week ahead. Still keeping an eye on just a little bit of moisture just off to the west, and then we're going to have a little bit of moisture coming up from the south. So we can see right here, a little bit of a cluster of thunderstorms. This is what's going to continue to make its way towards the northeast. This should not be impacting us though, so good news right there. Really, we were just keeping an eye on some moisture, taking a look just off the west coast that was going to be making its way over the region. And then we're just going to be keeping an eye on a little bit of a boundary that's going to bring in some clouds as we head through the rest of the overnight tonight and tomorrow. Little bit of a spot shower up near Ocala, but much more quiet than what we were seeing this time last weekend, where we were just seeing rain after rainstorm after rainstorm impacting areas across the villages, Lake County, as well as Brevard County this time last weekend. So as we head through the overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies, going to be seeing those temperatures dropping down into the 50s as we head through the overnight tonight across Gainesville and Ocala. 60s here in Orlando, lingering throughout the low and mid 60s as we take a look along the coast. Taking a look at your morning commute tomorrow, looking good, partly cloudy and cool, and temperatures going to be throughout the low 60s as you're heading out the door at 7 a.m., slowly starting to warm up as we head into the late morning hours into the low 70s, and it's not really going to be getting too much warmer from there. Highs tomorrow only going to be throughout the mid 70s, so cooler start to the work week, and then we'll slowly start to see that high pressure kick back in. That's what's slowly going to start to warm us up as we take a look at the back half of the week. Luckily, though, not really too many rain chances, though. We're going to be seeing just a chance of a couple spot showers on Monday, and then we're going to be seeing another cold front roll through on Friday. So if you do have any plans to wrap up the work week, kick off the weekend, we will be seeing the chance of a couple of scattered showers to wrap up the work week and through your Saturday. So heads up there. Tina writing in on our Facebook page saying that you're going to be in Orlando for Thanksgiving. That is so exciting. And actually, Tina, I'm curious to know where you're from because I will actually be traveling for Thanksgiving. So we might be switching places. So let us know where you're from, Tina, if you're watching. We are going to monitor Thanksgiving. It's a little bit too far out to really pinpoint, but right now we should be seeing very typical Florida weather, seeing those dry conditions, maybe a day or two of rain, all just depending on cold fronts, but it's a little bit far out. Tina, if you could check in with us in about a week. We do this pretty much every Sunday, kind of coming on here just to make sure you're ready for the work week. So we are just going to continue to check in and stick with us until next week, and we'll definitely have a better idea on your Thanksgiving forecast. And you're from Louisville, Kentucky. Jessica worked there for a while. But that's great to know, and I hope you have the most fantastic Thanksgiving down here because, yes, it is a lot of fun. All right, so taking a look through the work week ahead, really we're just going to be seeing some scattered showers through the rest of the overnight tonight. Partly cloudy skies, very pleasant. For your Monday, going to continue to see just a little bit of a northerly breeze. That's what's going to keep our temperatures cool for the start of the work week. And then we have this high pressure kind of moving back in. You'll kind of notice those winds coming in. They're going here. I can actually draw it right here. So we can see those winds coming in from the north, and then you'll slowly see these winds start to turn. That's high pressure going to be kicking in, and we'll slowly start to see this come up from the southwest. That's what's going to be bringing in just a little bit more of that warmth, and that's what's going to pop our temperatures back up into the 80s as we take a look towards the middle of the work week. Switching gears ever so slightly to the tropics. Good news, no tropical activity for the next 7 days. We are 1 month out from hurricane season officially ending, and things are looking good for us here in Florida. The one area that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on through the rest of the season is the Southern Caribbean. And we'll kind of get into that in a few minutes. But here's where we actually look at for tropical activity in the Atlantic. So we can see there's a little bit of a blob in the central Atlantic. We're kind of seeing a pocket of warmer water in this area, not a whole lot of shear in that area as well. But we can also see here, same areas of where we were watching with Melissa, Southern Caribbean, up towards the Bahamas, up through the Carolina coastline. There is just this stream of warm water in there. So if there is a system, just like we saw with Melissa, that kind of makes its way into that region, it could pick up quite a bit. So something that we're going to be very much keeping a very close eye on through the rest of November. So speaking of November, in the 173 years that we've been record keeping hurricanes, there have only been 3 hurricanes to make landfall in Florida. And that was Kate in 1985, Nicole in 2022, and an unnamed storm in 1935. But again, no activity expected for the next 7 days. However, we do like to take a look 2 and 3 weeks out, and there is the possible chance of something brewing in the Southern Caribbean, just to the southwest of Jamaica. So there's this possible chance of some sort of development within the month of November. Very typical for this time of year because we also have not only the very warm ocean water, but we have this low pressure system called the CAG, or the CAG, Central American Gyre, in play. So that's something that we're going to be watching as well. We also see that possible chance as we take a look towards the middle of November, and that's what we're going to be watching because, again, you can see this pocket of cooler water right by Jamaica and eastern Cuba, and that is all the cool water that Melissa really churned up about a week ago. So you can still even see here very, very warm ocean water near Cancun, making its way up into the Gulf. Good news is that the Gulf, cool enough that there's probably not going to be any activity directly in the Gulf. However, Southern Caribbean area that we're going to be watching very closely for the rest of the season. And we look like we're pretty much going to be, things are looking positive for us. I don't want to say anything definite. There is still like that 6% chance that we do have activity for the rest of the season. So something that we're just going to be watching very carefully through the rest of the season here. Right now, though, we are kind of getting into like almost a winter-like pattern for us here in Florida. So it'll be interesting to see if there even is any activity for the rest of the season or if the season kind of just wrapped up with Melissa. So again, we still have a month to go, not letting our guard down yet because we still definitely have time, but something that we're going to be watching very closely for the rest of the season. So heads up, and I see somebody writing in, Michael, sorry, I was trying to find your comment, checking in from Daytona Beach. This next topic is going to be affecting you. And Tina writing in saying that you were in Disney for Hurricane Milton last year. My goodness. Tina, I would love to know your experience with that, about your trip being impacted by Hurricane Milton. We heard some of the reports from people who were quite literally trapped in their hotel to stay safe from the storm, because that was a bad one for sure. But for those of you who are watching that live directly on the coastline, and especially talking Flagler Beach all the way down to Miami, this is going to be affecting you. So if you remember at the beginning of October, we saw Imelda making its way up the Florida coastline, and we also had an episode of the king tides. So we are now in king tide season. We are in that time of year where we see the moon, the earth, and the sun kind of align a little bit more, and we see a little bit more of a gravitational pull between the moon and the tides. Excuse me. So we are going to be seeing another supermoon on November 5th. So this is actually a series of 4 supermoons. The first one was in October. Second one is going to be in November, and then we have 2 more to go after this. So we have December and January to go, which are going to be 2 other episodes and waves of these king tides. And the month of November in particular, the supermoon on November 5th is really going to allow those tides to get pretty high, especially along Daytona, Flagler, anywhere along Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, even all the way down to Melbourne Beach. These tides are going to be significantly higher than what we normally see during high tide and low tide, and we could be seeing the highest king tides of 2025. So just a little bit of a reminder of what king tides actually are. They're the highest tides of the year, and it's usually an anomaly where we see the sun, the moon, and the earth kind of all align, and that allows for a stronger gravitational force between the tides and the moon, as well as this is worsened by a supermoon. And then of course we had Melissa kind of also making its way up the coast this past week, so it's kind of just going to be very rough conditions, especially ocean-wise, through the next couple of days. And I already know that I will be out on Wednesday reporting on this, so if anyone does see any erosion, especially along the beaches, Michael, if you have any areas that have shown erosion over the past couple of weeks, we would love to know that for sure. Let us know if you have any ideas of where we could go. So over the next week or so, especially through the first 5 or so days of November, the 5th through the 10th, we're going to be seeing high surf risks. We're also going to be seeing probably an immense amount of coastal erosion. So up towards Flagler Beach, that entire pier got totally ripped apart by the king tides last month. And we're going to be seeing even higher king tides taking a look to start off the month of November. And we're also going to be seeing life-threatening rip currents on tap through the first week of November as well. So just as a reminder, and this is from Daytona specifically, I'll have to do a little bit of research on Flagler Beach and also Cocoa and all the way down the coastline as well. But the dates of October 11th, that's when we saw the king tides, actually October 10th last month, we saw those max wave heights and those max tide heights at about 5 feet, which, just to put that in perspective, I'm 5'4"-ish, so that was almost as tall as me. It's how high those waves came up. And I was in Daytona Beach. Actually, if you look on my Facebook page from about a month ago, you'll probably have to scroll back quite a bit, but you can see the video of just the seawall getting ripped apart. There was quite literally a drop off of seagrass and the sand quite literally as tall as me. It was eye level with me. And we're going to be seeing another episode of that, but 2 feet higher, taking a look at the start of November. So November 6th, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. are the 2 times that you're going to need to watch. We could be seeing tides up to 7 feet high, and that's going to be the highest that we're going to be seeing for the year of 2025. So again, Michael, who's watching from Daytona Beach, definitely stay safe, especially if you do have property right on the water for sure. So that's ultimately what we can see for the start of the work week. We'll wrap this up pretty quick tonight because, of course, we will be on in about 45 minutes or so at 10 tonight on Fox. And here's your 7-day forecast to kind of give you like a little bit of a sneak peek for the start of the work week. Starting off cool. High pressure is going to be kicking in Wednesday and Thursday, popping up our temperatures back into the 80s. We'll see another wave of moisture make its way across the region Friday into Saturday. Very scattered showers, though, not looking at anything crazy again like what we were seeing last weekend, but we are slowly going to start to see those temperatures approach back towards average, which is right around 82 degrees, and even get a couple degrees above average, taking a look next Friday and Saturdays. So I'm going to do one last check of the comments. We'll wrap this up pretty quick tonight. But just a reminder, we do daily shows on weekdays from 3 to 3:30 here on Fox Local, YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you tune in for that. And then we also do these little Sunday at night chats. Usually at about 9 p.m. I'll hop on, just give you a quick summary of the start of the work week. If you have any questions, any comments, definitely let us know. But yes, especially for folks that are on the beaches this week, you're going to definitely need to pay attention to those tide forecasts, because that supermoon is definitely going to be roughening things up quite a bit, taking a look on a Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday and through the weekend. So heads up, if you do have any beach plans this weekend, definitely stay out of the water. Again, life-threatening rip currents are going to be the main impact, as well as very rough surf, at least through this weekend. Alrighty. Let's do one last quick check on Facebook, YouTube, make sure I didn't miss any comments. And I think I am all caught up. And Tina, actually, here, let me actually pop up a email for you, because I would love to see those photos. And this goes for anyone who is sees a cool weather photo, has any photos of storm damage, any storm reports, definitely send them to us. You can either direct message us on Facebook, and you can follow me on Facebook and report there, or you can send it to this email as well. Let me just find the correct graphic for it. My goodness, there we go. Here we go. Any storm reports, any cool weather photos. If you're just having fun one day and would love to send us a picture of you enjoying the beautiful day, any tide photos, we would love to see them. You can send it to fox35stormteam@fox.com, or you can send it to my personal email, laurel.blanchard@fox.com. We would absolutely love to see them. So, and Tina writing in, oh my gosh, I love the weather. It's possibly going to snow for me here next weekend. Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, wow. I can't believe, and I used to work in Johnson City, Tennessee, so North Carolina mountains. We reported there for quite a bit, and yeah, they have already seen snow up in Banner Elk. They have already seen some snow flurries for this year. All right, everyone, have a wonderful work week. Have a great rest of the night. Hopefully the time change doesn't bug you too much, but definitely give myself a follow, the rest of the Fox 35 Storm Team a follow, and stay up to date with the latest here on Fox Local. Make sure you download that Fox Local app for all the latest weather information. And again, we'll be back here next Sunday, so we can just do a little bit of a recap of the weather from this past week, as well as a look ahead towards the start of the next work week. All right, everyone, have a great work week.